Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm not here today. Um, Today we'll be watching some videos and learning about the end of the Vietnam War. So it's going to start with this guy, Richard Nixon. He's going to become president in 1968. He's going to be famous for a lot of things, a lot of bad things too. But he is going to be the president that sort of ends America's involvement in Vietnam. So he kind of puts a new twist on our containment policy, the Truman Doctrine. The Truman Doctrine says anytime communism starts to expand, we're going to step up and stop it. And if that requires U.S. troops, then that's what we'll do. Nixon kind of says it differently. He says, yeah, we'll help countries fight communism, but we're not going to commit U.S. troops to fighting unless it really matters. Right? And Nixon didn't see Vietnam or Korea as really mattering that much. Right? This isn't the belief of the domino theory anymore. Just because communism expands doesn't mean all the neighbors are going to follow communism too. He says, yeah, if it happened in like Germany, that would matter. Right? If it happens in a more important country, essentially, that matters. We'll send troops. But for these small, tiny ones, we'll help them fight, but we're not killing our own people for this. Right? So he has a different view on fighting communism. And he wants to find a way to end America's role in Vietnam. He wants to pull American troops out, which is hard. Like you already have troops in, you can't just like bail completely. How do you get the troops out? He wants to use something called Vietnamization. Essentially, let the South Vietnam take over. Let our ally fight the war as we slowly pull our troops out. We helped for a while. Now it's time for us to leave. We're not going to leave immediately, but over the course of a few years, remove all U.S. troops. Right, and the reasons why we're doing this is the war keeps dragging on. Looks like it's unwinnable, and there's no way to win this, and there seems no end in sight. The U.S. deaths just keep piling up, right? And with no end in sight, no clear path to victory, what are these deaths for? What are they accomplishing? Also, there's release of the Pentagon Papers, which is classified information that shows how the U.S. government was essentially lying to the people about the war, the reasons for going, our success in the war. It's a bunch of lies that the American people have been told. In Schoology, there's going to be a link to this video for you to watch. So, America is going to come up with a peace deal with North Vietnam where we agree to leave, and North and South Vietnam are going to agree to be separate countries. That lasts like a year before North Vietnam breaks the deal, invades South Vietnam, and America does not come to its aid again. We did it once, we're not going to do it again. North Vietnam is going to invade and conquer, and it's going to be brutal. They're going to be awful to the South Vietnamese people, killing babies, raping women, torture, destruction, all sorts of terrible things. And there's going to be a crazy scene where the capital of South Vietnam, which is Saigon, is going to be surrounded, and there's going to be this mad, crazy operation to try and get as many people out as possible. Pictures of the here's pictures of American helicopters landing in Saigon to pull as many people out as possible, get people out of South Vietnam because they knew it was going to happen. All these people are destined to die if they don't get out. And then there's a bunch of like babies, these orphan babies whose parents had been killed by North Vietnam. America loaded them all up on planes and took them back to the United States and got them adopted by people. So America saved all these babies from North Vietnam who was going to kill them all. There's another video on Schoology that you can watch about the end of Vietnam. Now that the war is over, what happens to all these veterans? Well, they're not going to be very well taken care of. Right? They're not going to be celebrated, which, they didn't win the war. Right? It's hard to have parades and celebrations when you don't win. Well, there's a lot of PTSD, a lot of homelessness, a lot of poverty. These veterans are really going to struggle. Another video there. So if you go to Schoology for today, there's going to be 3 videos to watch, and then there's going to be an assignment. In the assignment, you're going to be reading and answering level 2 and 3 questions. If you scroll down, first is going to be the English copy, and then we'll have the Spanish copy. You need to submit this by the end of the period. See you all tomorrow.